You don't fall into financial traps all at once. It's quieter than that. It doesn't feel like a mistake when it's happening. There's no moment where everything collapses, no warning sign that tells you this is where it starts going wrong. It's just small decisions, small delays, small justifications, things that feel normal, things that everyone else seems to be doing too. And that's what makes it dangerous, because you don't notice anything's off until you look up one day and realize nothing really moved. Not your money, not your situation, not your life. Just time. It usually begins here, not with a bad decision, but with a delay. You tell yourself you'll start later, not because you don't care, but because it doesn't feel urgent yet. You're in your 20s. There's time. You'll sort it after this month, after this job, after things calm down a bit. You'll save when you earn more. You'll invest when you understand it. You'll get serious when life feels more stable. Right now just isn't the moment. And that logic makes sense. It actually feels responsible. Why rush into something you're not ready for? Why force it? So you wait. And nothing bad happens. That's the trap. Because nothing going wrong feels like confirmation you made the right call. Weeks pass, then months, then somehow years. And the idea of starting doesn't get easier. It gets heavier. Because now it's not just about starting, it's about catching up. And that's a different feeling. So you wait a little longer. At the same time, something else starts to creep in. You start earning money. Maybe not a lot, but enough to feel it. And for the first time, you can actually buy things without asking anyone. And that feeling matters more than you expect. Because it doesn't just feel like spending, it feels like proof. Proof that you're doing something with your life. Proof that you're not stuck anymore. So when you spend, it doesn't feel careless. It feels earned. You tell yourself you deserve this. After everything, after the stress, after the work, after feeling behind for so long, this is yours. And it's not reckless. It's upgrading something you didn't really need to upgrade. It's buying the better version because you can now. It's booking something just to have something to look forward to. It's adding things to your life that make it feel like progress. Even if nothing's actually changing. Things that make life feel better, more real, more like what it's supposed to be. And you're not wrong to want that. That's the uncomfortable part. But slowly, without noticing, spending stops being something you do and becomes something you rely on. To feel better, to feel normal, to feel like you're moving forward. It stops being about what you need and starts being about how you want to feel. And once it becomes that, it's no longer just a choice. It's never the big purchases. That's what people expect. They think financial problems come from one bad decision, something obvious, something dramatic. But it's rarely that. It's quieter. It's the things that don't feel important enough to question. The 10 pounds here, the subscription there, the I'll just get food tonight because you're tired. The coffee that becomes a routine, the app you forgot you're still paying for, the random order that felt small enough not to think about. Because each one on its own doesn't matter. It's just 5 pounds, just 12 pounds, just 20 pounds. You can afford it, it's fine. So you don't track it, you don't think about it, you don't even remember most of it, and that's exactly how it builds. Not in a way you can see, but in a way you start to feel. You open your bank app and it's lower than you expected. Again, you get paid, and somehow a week later, it already feels tight. You tell yourself next month will be different, but next month looks exactly the same. Not because of one big mistake, but because of 100 small ones. That never felt like mistakes at all. At some point, you start looking around. Not consciously, not in a way you'd admit, but it happens. You see people your age on holiday. Again, different country, different week. You see someone talking about how they made their first 10,000 pounds online. Someone else just quit their job. Someone your age is already living a life that looks ahead. You know it's social media. You know it's highlights. You know it's not the full picture. But it still lands. Quietly. You don't try to copy them. Not directly, you just adjust. You say yes to things you probably shouldn't. You spend a little more than you planned. You keep up with nights out, trips, experiences. Because saying no starts to feel like falling behind, and no one says it out loud. But there's this quiet pressure to not be the one who's stuck, to not be the one missing out, to not be the one watching everyone else move forward. So you keep pace. Not excessively, not recklessly, just enough. Just enough to feel like you're still in the same race. And again, nothing feels wrong, because everyone around you is doing the same thing. Then one day you realize something strange. You're not struggling, but you're not moving either. Your life works, your income covers things. You're getting by. And on the surface, that should feel good. This is what you were aiming for, stability, something steady, something safe. But it doesn't feel how you expected. There's no momentum, no sense of progress, just maintenance. You're maintaining your life, maintaining your spending, maintaining your routine, and your pay might go up a little, but your life adjusts with it, and somehow, nothing actually changes. And because nothing is going wrong, there's no reason to change anything, no urgency, no pressure, so everything stays the same. And the longer it stays the same, the harder it is to imagine it being different. You've built a life that works just enough to keep you where you are. And underneath all of this, there's one thought that keeps everything in place. You'll deal with it later, properly, when you're ready, when you understand money better, when you earn more, when life feels more organized, then you'll take it seriously. Then you'll fix things. Then you'll start. You even watch videos, read things, think about it more than you'd admit, but you never quite start. Because ready doesn't arrive the way you expect. There's no moment where everything clicks and suddenly you feel in control. If anything, the longer you wait, the more complicated it feels. Because now there's more to figure out, more to undo, more to face. So instead of starting, you think about starting, you plan it, you imagine it, you tell yourself it's coming, just not yet. And that's how it continues. Not through bad decisions, Mom, but through hesitation. None of these traps feel like traps. That's the point. They feel like life. Normal life. The kind of life everyone around you is living. The kind of life that doesn't raise alarms, but slowly, quietly, it adds up to something. Not failure, not disaster, just distance. Distance between where you are and where you thought you'd be. And it's hard to explain because nothing went obviously wrong. There's no single moment to point to. Just a series of things that made sense at the time. That led here. And maybe that's the hardest part. Realizing that being stuck doesn't always come from doing something wrong. Sometimes it comes from doing exactly what feels right, over and over again, until you look up and wonder how you got here.